costs you a lot of money. Wouldn't you rather have the money? Yes, I want the money. Okay, leave your wife alone. Make her happy. So there's a lot to be said. We just threw out a lot of broad ideas. But getting back to specifically to Moshe. Moshe is the tikkun of Adam HaRishon. He lives for 120 years, which is the maximum time that a human being was allowed to live. Also, it says in the book of Devarim that even after he died, he didn't really die at all. It's an unbelievable thing. Moshe Rabbeinu, like Yaakov Avinu. What do we say about Yaakov Avinu? Yaakov Avinu lo meis. He didn't die. So the Gemara asks, what do you mean? They embalmed him in Mitzrayim. They put him in a sarcophagus in Mitzrayim. And they buried him in Hebron. What do you mean he didn't die? He says he didn't. So the Gemara answers he didn't die because his children are alive, who carry his essence. The Jewish people were all B'nai, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And this I'll add a beautiful vort also regarding Moshe Rabbeinu. We didn't get to his birth yet, so I don't like to jump ahead, but I'll give it to you now. What does Moshe see in the Midbar, his first encounter with Hashem? The sneh. And how does it describe? The hasneh eneno ukal. Is that a normal Hebrew word? Oh, he's my mother. Bruchim habaim. Thank you very much. Okay, we're just up to here. You sit here, Chani. You can sit here. Oh, sorry you missed it. We have to watch the videotape. But we're talking about Shemos as a book of names. That the most important event in all of the book of Shemos was the naming of Moshe. Because that encapsulated the entire purpose of Shemos. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But Moshe Rabbeinu, first we said, saw the burning bush. And the Torah says, V'hasneh eneno ukal. Now, you speak Hebrew, right? Do you say, Ten li ksat ukal? Ani rotzeh leukal. No, what do you say? Lechol. So what would have been a more simple word? V'hasneh eneno ne'echal. Or ne'echelet, whatever. What is ukal? Rashi's bothered by it. He says it's a very strange diktuk. Construct. He said, we find it other places though, Rashi says. By the Egla Arufa. Everybody knows what the Egla Arufa is. Egla Arufa is, Nebuch, when you find a murdered Jew outside a city in Israel, and we measure to the most, and nobody knows what happened. We measure to the closest city, and that city is obligated as elders come out and slay a little egel, calf. What type of calf? Lo ubad ba, that was never used for work. Same construct. Ubad ukal. That's what Rashi says. Now think about it. Lo ubad means it had no relationship to work. It had nothing to do with work. It was far removed from the concept of work. It never worked a day in its life. Like some people. Baruch Hashem. They're zocheh not to work a day in their life. They work for Hashem. So, it had nothing to do with being consumed. The burning bush had nothing to do with being consumed. There was no possibility of it being consumed. Just like the Egla Rufa, it was the most remote thing from being worked. So too the Jewish people are the most remote, ridiculous thought that in any way it might be consumed. Because we're eternal, we're part of Hashem. Can you consume Hashem? It had to use that strong, emphatic diktuk because to show how ridiculous it is to even have the concept that the Jewish people should be consumed. Albeit, what does the sneh represent? Love for the Jewish people? What does it represent? Hatred for the Jewish people. Why is Har Sinai called Har Sinai? Yarda Sina La'olam. Once the Jews got the Torah, which was the tikkun of Adam HaRishon, right, to set the world straight, what Hashem wanted, right, then anybody who doesn't agree with that or anybody who doesn't want to be part of that hates them and wants to do what to them? Specifically, burn them. Burn them. When the Mufti came to Hitler, right, in the onset of World War II in 1941, right before they started, right when they were starting the concentration camps, he says, the Jews want to escape Europe, so he says, Mufti says to Hitler, you're sending the Jews away, but they're coming to my territory, they're coming to Israel. Well, he didn't say Israel. and turn it into Chava. And he did it from Paro, because it was for Paro's sake. That's coming up later. Okay, so why did Amram give in? He said it must be that we're not ready in this generation for the Mashiach. Right? Comes along and says, Miriam, he says, but you have now forgotten the most important point. Mahasneh enenu ukal. The Jewish people cannot be extinguished. And therefore Moshe Rabbeinu has to live. He has to. Because if not, the entire divine plan is off. So she reminded and she inspired that the sign that Moshe would eventually see, she kindled it before it ever happened. She kindled that light. And when Moshe comes out and is born, what do they see?
Or.
They see or. Which or? The or of the sneh that's enenu ukal, the good or. Not the or, but the or. Okay. So she wins that point. So because that answers the question, what was Yocheved thinking? He put a tiny baby in a basket on the Nile River, which is significant. It's not a small little river. And what hangs out around the banks of the Nile River?
Crocodiles.
Tons of crocodiles. And there's wind, and there's waves. How long is that baby going to live? Minutes? How long could it last? An hour? At best? What in the world was she doing? If she would have asked a Shaila of a posek, is it permissible for me to put my baby in the Nile? They would say, Chas v'shalom, it's Isser Gomor. So what are you doing? Why did she try to hide him some more? Smuggle him out of the country. Although it does say, Chazal say it was impossible to escape Mitzrayim. Okay, I'll grant you that. But try to hide him here, hide him. Didn't they hide all the babies? All those thousands of babies during that period of time were hidden, right? And they were suckling from the rock and suckling. So, put Moshe over there. Why can't you put him over there?
Because of the light.
It's an incredible question. Yeah, but they're going to find him. They'll distinguish him. They couldn't find those babies. Why couldn't they? Maybe they would have hide him. What are you putting him in there? You're writing his death certificate. Because it was obvious. The astrologers knew. They're going to keep killing babies. Until when? Until the Mashiach hits the water and is in danger for his life. If they don't put Moshe in the Nile without supervision, at least for a short period of time, the astrologers will not stop the Gezerah. Moshe being placed in the Nile River at the risk of his own life saved an entire generation of Israel. That one act, do you understand? Because then the astrologers saw, stop! And not only did he save the Jewish babies, which babies did he save? The Egyptian babies. In his first act as a child, he saves the world. And what now? This is very important. What is Basu doing down there? Why did she go there in the first place? Here's your question. If you're the daughter of Paro, right, and you got only about 100,000 slaves, well, and how many Jewish slaves on top of that, do you think she'd have any trouble getting a bath? Wait a minute, do you think there are enough water carriers in Egypt to go down to the Nile and bring her some nice bath water? Probably boil it first, and then, make her a nice hot bath? She doesn't have attendants to do that for her? What's she doing there? That's right. She went down there to save the Jewish babies, to defy her own father's decree. It was an act of defiance.
She actually knew that there was a Jewish baby out there?
She knew that, although babies are being thrown in the river, Jewish or not Jewish. This is my theory anyway. She went down there to save babies. She was like, I'm going for a bath, I'm going for a walk. She had an agenda. She had her staff there. Whoever we see, save them. Save those babies.
Did you say the word about enenu ukal?
Yes.
No, the anical word.
Oh, I'm sorry. My son Levi the Chassan said enenu ukal means anical. That there's going to be aniklach. There's never in. Thank you. Okay, so she goes down to the river for no particular purpose other than surreptitiously to save Jewish children. And what happens? Vatera es hateva b'toch hasuf. Vatishlach. Oh, first of all, sorry. Vatera bas paro lirchotz al hayor. Excuse me, Hebrew. Lirchotz al hay, to wash on the Nile.
Should have said it.
What does it mean to wash al hayor? That's what I mean. To cleanse herself from the crime of what is going on with the yor. Lirchotz, to do tevila, to convert, to be what? What Moshe would be, an Eved Hashem. She went to the mikvah. That you can't do in the palace. It's not even a kosher mikvah. You could bring the all the water you want, but it's not a kosher mikvah. Lirchotz al hayor. She went to the mikvah. And to cleanse the yor of the crime of killing Jewish babies and non-Jewish babies. V'narseya holchos al yad hayor. They're all walking around, looking for what? Looking for babies. Jewish babies, because now she was part of the Jewish people. Vatera es hateva. Teva. Where else do we find a teva? Who else was saved in a teva? Noah. Who again, Moshe stands in the place of Noah. B'toch hasuf. What does suf also stand for? Sof, end. Ukal, not einan ukal. Vatishlach es amata vatikachea. That's strange. Tishlach es amata. Also means, what we said, her hand. Her hand shot forward. An amma also means. An amma is the description of the male reproductive organ. She's a woman. What's going on over here? Wait a second. And it says that she had mercy on him. What's the word for mercy? What's the word for mercy? Rachamim is a feminine thing, right? Rechem. Is that the word that Torah uses? No. That's it. Vatiftach vatireh was a yelad v'hinei nar bocheh. Again, a boy. Vatachmol alav. Doesn't say anything about Rachamim. It says Mila. Tachmol. How many days do you do bris Mila?
8.
Chamal. Chet mal. It was an act of conversion for her.
But he was already.
He was already born.
And
Right?
he was already brit milah.
So what's going on? So now what's going on? She herself, by giving the name to Moshe, is removing which horrible tuma and klipa of Lilith and Nachash from the world. She's removing the klipa of Mitzrayim, of the souls who fell into the entrapment of evil, who were now in Mitzrayim under the avdus of Paro, the Nachash. You get it? To redeem those souls is the analogy is analogous to doing a bris milah, to remove the impediment of the unholiness and to let.
You mean the Jews who were enslaved were those people who were Lilith?
They were all those neshamos that were spawned by Adam and Lilith. 130 years. Yaacov comes down at year 130 of his life and says, "We got to rescue these people. We got to get them out of Mitzrayim." And where does this process start? Right at that second, when she rescues Moshe Rabbeinu. It was an act of a bris milah because it reconnected the world to Kedusha. It reconnected the covenant of Avram Avinu, who was told to give birth, to give a bris to his children on which day? The 8th day, Vatachmo. She brought the Kedusha back to the world. It's an incredible, incredible shot.
So the Arab law was like from the children of Billah.
They're the last klipa.
The last people.
They're the last klipa. Can't get rid of them so fast. Shishmael and Arab are the last two klipas. We got rid of Esav already. We even got rid of Ishmael, even though you can't see it, but we did get rid of him.
Yeah.
What's left is Amalek. It's not Esav. It's not Ishmael. It's not Ishmael. It's Amalek. Ishmael in the cells. I saw them in the hospital. They sit around in shmatas. They sit around in shmatas. The lady said, "The bush gun her head." She's amazing. They're not our enemies. They're not our enemies. They're being used by our enemies. All right, and now this is their time, because this is what's left. They're what's left of the non-full bris of Avinu. Okay, we gotta stop, but I will end with this. I just want to mention that that act of Bisya, the reason she called him Moshe, Min Hamayim Mishisu, is an act of defiance to Paro. I took the flame, the ore, out of the water. I saved it. Isn't that the story of Shemos? That's what I'm getting at. The name Moshe means I rescued the flame from being extinguished by the waters of the Nile. I took the ore out of the ore, and that means Moshe. And she said it to everyone, and she didn't hide it. And he grew up in the palace, perhaps to the consternation of her father. She said, I don't care. Like Avram Avinu, I don't care. I will stand up next to Paro in his palace and be a thorn in his side until such time as the tide turns. So I dedicate this again in memory of Rabbi Shushat who was certainly an Eved Hashem, and we're going to go more into that concept later. V'fayri Eish Moshe Rabbeinu, Eish Das Lamo, Ish Elokim, Ish, the replacement of Adam Arishon, the return of the spark of fire between Adam and Chava, that went off. Yeah.